Okay guys, hopefully you saw some of the ways we cut some costs, some of the issues that are out there. And the thing you have to remember is that there's a fine line between value and cost. And when you're doing things like that, when you're about to sell your home, or let's say you jump into flipping, you have to understand that you're not going to live there, or you're not going to live there very much longer. And so you need to add value and keep down costs. Okay, so you don't want to put granite countertops in a neighborhood that doesn't have granite countertops. You don't want to put nice Italian tile in a neighborhood that has linoleum or just regular tile. Okay, one of the things that no one really knows is that the bigger the house in the neighborhood, the higher the sales price of the smallest house in the neighborhood goes up. So it works both ways. So the smallest house in the neighborhood brings the biggest house in the neighborhood down, and vice versa. And so very, very seldom have I ever purchased a house that was the biggest house in the neighborhood by square footage. Very seldom, because you can only go so high. You can only go so high. And I like purchasing the smallest house in the neighborhood to the medium house. I'm great with that, but I like purchasing the smallest house in the neighborhood because that's the only house that the value is brought up by the biggest house in the neighborhood. Okay, and so we were lucky in a couple of areas. One is this market's great, and the area is superb. I love living here. I've lived here for a long time, and so we got really lucky because this is the second to smallest house in the neighborhood, and it's a one-story. One-story and two-story, there's a huge difference in that. My generation, I live in a two-story. My generation wants to live in two stories, wants the big, wants all that kind of stuff. The older generation, they want smaller. They want one story. They don't want to be walking upstairs. And so in neighborhoods that were built after 1985, you're going to find more two stories, it seems. And so when you get an opportunity to buy a one story and it's a fairly smaller house than other ones in the neighborhood, jump on it or call me so I can jump on it. Thanks guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.